Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Shri Ram Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Shri Ambe Ambe Mata ki jai, Shri Syavar Ramchandra ki jai.
On page 73. Om Prema Mudita Manase Kaho Ram 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 Shri Ram 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 Shri Ram Ram Ram
Prema Mudita Manase Kaho Ram Ram Ram, Shri Ram Ram Ram, Shri Ram Ram Ram.
Prema Mudita
कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 माता पिता बंधु सखा सबरी राम नाम माता पिता बंधु सखा सबरी राम नाम भक्त जान जीवन धन एक राम नाम श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 प्रेम मोहित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय श्री सियावर रामचंद्र की जय।
Om, page 69. Om अयोध्यावासी राम दशरथ नंदन राम जानकी जीवन राम जय राम राम राम
अयोध्यावासी राम दशरथ नंदन राम जानकी जीवन राम जय राम राम राम
अयोध्यावासी राम दशरथ नंदन राम जानकी जीवन राम जय राम राम
Namo Narayanaya, respected Pravrajika Ishtaprana Mataji, dear elders, sisters, and brothers. A hearty welcome to each and every one of you to today's joyous celebration of Sri Ram Naumi. This morning, we have the blessed opportunity to listen to the glory of Ram Nam by revered Pravrajika Ishtaprana Mataji. I humbly call upon Mataji to deliver her talk.
Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Shri Ram Krishnaya Namaha. Om Ram Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranam Tatulyam Ram Nama Varanane Ram Nama Varanane. Om Namo Narayana, dear sisters, brothers, and loving children. It is so wonderful to see all of you here on this very beautiful and glorious morning. And as the bright sun was shining into the shrine every now and then, I'm thinking about Sri Ram, the glory of the solar race. So Sri Ram is indicating that he is definitely present. Lord Shiva says to Mother Parvati, the mantra that was just chanted now, Rama Rameti, I delight in the beautiful name of Sri Ram again and again, for even once remembered, the name of Sri Ram bestows the fruit equal to the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. Now we have the Vishnu Sahasranam in our prayer book, and many people chant it every day, so it has 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. But can you imagine, by just chanting Ram, 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 we have chanted the Vishnu Sahasranam 3 times if we have faith in it and believe that it is equal to the fruit. The name of Sri Ram is equal to the fruit that we get by chanting the Vishnu Sahasranam. So it reminds us that God is so compassionate. We often make excuses that we can't do this and we can't do that, but God is providing us with the answer to all of that. So if you don't have time to chant all the mantras, chant the name of Sri Ram. And also our scriptures say that 3 things are very rare and important. One is to have a human birth. And while we have the human birth, we must try to awaken the divine power that is lying dormant in us. Satsangs give us this opportunity to feel this infinite bliss and this grace, so when we go home, we can continue our spiritual practices. And then the third is the grace of the Guru. And in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we find, and of course Mother Sarada and Swamiji, all the grace flowing through their literature. When we read, we find the answers to all our, whether it's spiritual challenges or worldly challenges, home challenges, the answers are all there. So we have to make use of this to awaken this divine power that is in us. Chanting the name of Sri Ram gives us infinite bliss and allows us to progress. A simple person, a highway robber like Ratnakar, many of us know the story of Ratnakar, who was a highway robber and enjoyed getting hold of people that were passing by through the forest, taking all their possessions and sometimes even killing them. so much so that even the animals and the birds would sort of disappear when he came into the forest. So one day, while he was waiting in the forest to see whom he can catch and what he can steal, none other than the great sage Narada passed by. And of course, as usual, the Ratnakar said, give me all your possessions or I will take your life. And of course, Narad Muni says, I have nothing. I only have these rags on. But what I want you to do is, what do you get by doing this? And he says, no, I have to provide for my family. But Narada says that when God asks you, how did you provide for your family? What did you do? And when you get the punishment of hurting so many people, will you be happy about that? He said, no, but my family will share in all of that because I'm doing it for them. And Narad Muni says, you might as well go and ask them, but nobody shares in your karma. You alone have to bear the fruit of your own karma. So Ratnakar says, well, I know as soon as I leave, you will disappear, so I'm going to tie you to this tree. So he ties Narad Muni to the tree. And he goes, and of course, when he goes there, whether it's his mother, his wife, and children, none of them want to take responsibility for his wrong actions, his evil deeds. And of course, Ratnakar comes back, realizes that all of that is futile. So he tells Sage Narada, what am I going to do now? I have incurred so much of sin. So Narad Muni says, well, the best way to redeem yourself is to take the name of Sri Ram. And we know that he couldn't even chant Rama, Rama, because it was only Mara, Mar. Hit means hit, everyone. So Mar is to hit, and Rama is the holy name of Sri Ram. So instead of saying Rama, Rama, he said Rama, 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 Ram, and naturally it became Rama, Rama, Ram. As Master used to say, when you read the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is Tagi, 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 Ta. So it becomes Gita. So similarly, this instead of the Rama becomes, the Mara becomes Rama, Ram, and he was so concentrated in that chanting that he didn't even realize so much of time had gone by. You see, firstly, he had implicit faith in the words of Narada, and secondly, he wanted to change, he wanted to transform. He was repentant. He was not happy with the way he did what he did, so he continued chanting that until the anthill grew around him. And when, after some time, or after some months or years, when Sage Narada came by, he saw that he can hear very faintly Ram, 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 and he wondered where that sound is coming from. And when he saw the anthill, he of course just noticed the two eyes, and breaking down that anthill, he saw Ratnakar, and he said to him, from now you will be known as Valmiki, because Valmika is that anthill. And see how God's grace to such an ordinary person, in fact, even a highway robber, Valmiki, now transformed into Valmiki, was able to see the whole of the Ramayana in his mind's eye, and he wrote it in Sanskrit. He was the first poet to write the Ramayana, and it is written in Sanskrit. Thereafter, Tulsidas ji and the others wrote it in different languages. So, how much we have benefited by Valmiki ji writing the Ramayana. So this is the faith we must have. We know that talking about highway robbers, even Mother Sharda transformed the lives of the highway couple, the robber couple, and transformed them into devotees, and they also changed their habits. Similarly, Master changed the life of Girish Chandra Ghosh and so many other devotees who were not in the habit of praying, but by the touch of these holy people, we see how their entire lives transform and they change to not just better people, but they become devotees of God and give us inspiration as well. So the important thing is when we gather together, we allow that God's name to vibrate within us, and when we go home, we know that we can also do that at home. We don't have to automatically, we experience this bliss, this peace, this contentment that allows us to chant God's sweet name. We see that in the Ramayana also there are many other characters who were very, very dependent on Sri Ram and loved repeating the name of Sri Ram. We know the other devotee is Shabari Bai, who was also living in the Matanga Vana, means the forest where the sage Matanga lived, and she also had implicit faith in her guru, was a very simple, unlettered woman, and whatever the sage asked her to do, she would do with all her heart. So when the sage in that environment was so pure, so full of the sound of God, that even the animals lived in peace and harmony. All of them, the tigers, the deer, they played with each other, the birds, even the different sounds that they made, the swans, the cranes, and all the other birds made sweet sounds. The trees gave off beautiful fruit and flowers with wonderful fragrance. So all of that reminds me of the old days at Avoka Ashram. So full of the forest, and all you could hear was chanting of God's name. So we ourselves can create that atmosphere at home. I know many people have this habit of playing some chanting in the background, no matter what they are doing, and consciously or unconsciously, even when you leave home, you tend to chant those mantras because they become so part of you. So we must help ourselves to create that environment. So Shabari Bai, when her guru was about to leave the earth, he was going to attain Mahasamadhi, he told her that now I will not be here. And she said, please take me with, I also want to go, but God, it's going to be very hard to live without you. But sage Matanga said, no, don't worry. When I am not here, you must wait. Sri Ram will come and you must repeat his name and you will have the blessed darshan of Sri Ram. So with this faith and confidence, day after day, she would collect beautiful flowers and chanting Ram, Ram, Ram all the time, laid the pathway, cleaned the pathway, took off all the stones, covered the pathway with beautiful flowers, collected berries and fruits to save for the day that Sri Ram will come. See, with us now, we will do it for maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe a year, and then we get tired. But Shabari Bai continued until the day, as she was strewing the pathway with flowers, she saw this beautiful feet coming towards her, and when she glanced up, as soon as she saw the radiant form of Sri Ram, she recognized that this is my Lord that I have been waiting for. So the important thing is this perseverance. We must not allow doubt to creep into our minds. We must not be influenced by wrong company or people that make wrong comments. We must be convinced in our hearts that if Master, Mother, and Swamiji saw God, so many saints and sages are talking about the reality of God. God definitely exists, and I want to see him no matter which way he reveals himself to me. So this is how we too can gain that confidence and continue chanting the name of God. So when one day, when Sri Ram came, she escorted Sri Ram and Lakshman into her little hermitage. And of course, even before going there, she bowed down to Sri Ram, and with the tears of her eyes, the tears of joy, she washed his feet and took him in. And when she says to Sri Ram, I want to wash your feet, he said, It's not necessary. Your tears have washed my feet. And so she gives him the berries. But can you imagine? Because she wants to give the Lord sweet fruit, sweet berries, she tastes each one and gives it. Whatever is bitter or sour, she throws it, and what is sweet, she gives to Sri Ram. And Lakshman looks with horrified eyes. How can you put that in your mouth and then give Sri Ram? So you know what we would call juta, but this is not juta, this is devotion. This is pure bhakti, and God recognizes that. So it's so nice that God knows our inner heart. He knows our feelings, so whatever manifests outside is one thing, but God knows the intention with which it is done. So as long as we have a pure heart and a pure mind, people outside may view it wrongly, but God understands us. And Sri Ram was so pleased with Shabri Bai that he explained the 9 forms of devotion, which is so interesting, so simple. And they say that, of course, Sri Ram says, even if we practice one of that, we can attain the goal. So I would like to just read the 9 forms of devotion. Sri Ram says, the first is keeping holy company. So important it is to have holy company, because in the world, people only talk about worldly things, family challenges, business challenges, work situations. Very few people now and then would talk about God. So we must keep holy company. Even Master says that. The second includes a fondness for glorifying the Lord. We must have that joy, that love to glorify the Lord. Humble service to the Guru and holy company is the third. The fourth consists in singing the Lord's praises without selfish motives. That is also important. Repeating the Lord's name, that is japa, with faith, is the fifth. Next is the practice of self-control, having virtuous qualities, and being engaged in beneficial activities. So, as all the great saints and sages say, don't only live for yourself. Try and do good, whatever you can manage. Not that you're doing good to others, but you are accumulating good karma when you try to help whoever you can. The 7th type of devotion is when one sees the whole world as a manifestation of the Lord Himself without any distinction between good and bad, high and low, learned or ignorant. Of course, that's a very high state of realization. It's not possible for all of us to do that, because we know the bad people are living there very, very clearly. So we have to be aware of them. As Master would say, although God is in everyone, do not hug the tiger God. He will make a breakfast out of you. So we must be careful also. Use our discrimination and just be sincere and pray to God. The 8th is when a person remains content with whatever he or she gets and never finds fault with others. Like Mother Sarada said, do not find fault with others. Try to make the whole world your own. The 9th form demands that one should not be deceitful. One should cherish implicit faith in God and be cheerful. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, practice this with a cheerful heart. So as our big Swamiji would say, don't have a popo face, because you will not be able to enjoy life then. Whoever possesses any one of these 9 forms of devotion is most dear to me. And Shabri Bai, of course, was very blessed to have all these types of devotion. And after looking intently at Sri Ram, now she knew it was her time to leave, and being totally merged in the thought of Sri Ram, she attained Mahasamadhi, became one with the Lord. It is a very, very interesting incident in the life of one of our revered Swamijis at Belur Math. This Swamiji, Swami Shiveshanandji Maharaj, passed away in 1975, which is not so long ago. He was known as Dwarka Maharaj. Now, all the young monks and the devotees, they enjoyed being in his nature, in his company, because of his loving nature. So they used to call him the storytelling Swami. That's how they used to address him. He was an excellent storyteller, and he would usually tell the stories from the Hindu mythological literature. But one of his favorite stories, one that he never tired of telling again and again, was the unique version of the story of Shabari Bai from the Ramayana. So you see, stories are important. Sometimes we think it's for babies, but these are the lessons that remain in our mind through simple stories. So he used to say, now I will tell you a new story of Shabari Bai. But do you know who this Shabari Bai is? It is I, that is Dwaraka Maharaj himself. Yes, indeed, I was like Shabari Bai when I joined Belur Math as a brahmachari. By that time, I had been initiated by my guru. And who was his guru? Mahapurush Maharaj, the direct disciple of our master, Sri Swami Shivananji Mahapurush Maharaj, who lived upstairs in the monastery building. Those of us that have been there can just imagine where that place is. The manager Maharaj of the monasteries told me, look at the mango and jackfruit trees in the front yard of the monastery. The yard is constantly littered with dry leaves dropping from them. It will be your duty to keep the yard free of dry leaves. When Mahapurush Maharaj comes out of the monastery building and he comes to go to the shrine, he must see the courtyard free of the dry leaves, and it's going to be your duty to keep that clean. He said, I was very happy to get that assignment and tried to keep the yard meticulously clean. As soon as I would hear the sound of a single leaf dropping to the ground, I would immediately run and pick it up. I would spend the entire day picking up leaves because I was not sure when my guru would come out of his room into the yard. Thus, I became like Shabari Bai. With all the eagerness of my heart, I would wait to hear my guru's footsteps in the yard that I have been trying to keep so meticulously clean. What we will say, oh, it's so boring, picking up leaves all the time. But you see how simple chores, absolutely simple, can become so divine, so pure, so invigorating because we are doing it for love of God. Whatever we do at home, washing dishes, cooking, whatever, even at the office, try to feel that we are doing it for God. Do not allow boredom to set in. If we make ourselves enthusiastic, then new energy comes up in our hearts. We are filled with peace and joy, new enthusiasm, and even enlightenment. After saying this much, Dwaraka Maharaj would look at the listeners, pause for a moment, and then he would say, do you know one thing? While I was busy keeping the yard clean, I didn't know that along with that, I had also been keeping something else clean. And what is that? It was my mind. Our scriptures say that through dedicated service to God, a person acquires a pure mind. This mind enables the devotee to eventually experience God. Our scriptures also say that the Guru and God are one and the same. So, just by picking up these leaves, picking up leaves from the yard actually became my spiritual practice. You see, we want to leave all of that and go and sit somewhere in a corner. But look at this. The very act of picking up the leaves is a sadhana. That is what we must do. Try and convert work into sadhana. So this is a lovely interpretation of Mother Shabari Bai. And the Master also says that God's name is so powerful that it can transform our passions into love of God and unite us with the divine. We know that even Vibhishanji, who lived right with all the Rakshasas, just by chanting the name of Sri Ram, was spotlessly clean. He had no evil intentions, no wrong actions, no wrong words. Therefore, Hanumanji also met Vibhishanji, and how happy these two devotees were because they loved Sri Ram. Of course, Hanumanji's story is something else. Hanumanji, just by the power of Jai Shri Ram, he was able to cross over the ocean, go to Lanka and find Mother Sita, and later, after, when they had to build the bridge, on every rock, Hanumanji wrote Jai Shri Ram. Of course, the rocks didn't sink, they floated and made the bridge to Lanka. And during the war, when Indrajit, that is Ravan's son Meghnad, when he shot a deadly weapon at Lakshman, and Lakshman fell unconscious, even Vibhishanji said, there's no ways Lakshman is going to get better. Then they all said, it can never be, there must be a way. So he said, but the problem is that the physician who lives in Lanka, how are you going to bring him here? Hanumanji says, there's no such word as it is impossible for me to do anything. Just tell me what I must do and it will be done. So when he explained to him where the physician lived, so Hanumanji, of course, we know he can make himself small, make himself big. He entered Lanka again in disguise, and he saw this, he recognized the physician because he was busy mixing all the leaves and crushing them to make the medicine. He picked up the whole house, and he says, but the physician saying, what are you doing? Where are you taking me? He says, I'm taking you to do something good. I'm taking you for your own good. You will be blessed. You'll see where I am taking you. So he took the whole house and brought it to the shore. And then when the physician said, now, the only remedy is the Sanjeevani herbs, and that is in the Himalayan mountains right in the north. We are, after Lanka is even after Kanyakumari. You have to cross over the ocean. So not just the southernmost tip of India, but a totally different country. And Himalayas are in the extreme north of India. How are you going to do that? And we know that too Hanumanji succeeded in doing, and brought that to save the life of Lakshman. So, where there is a will, there is a way. Do not say this is impossible or that is impossible. Have faith, have confidence, and keep that resilience in us to do good. Always do good. Never allow wrong thoughts to enter our minds. Even Mother Sita, she was right in the heart of all these demons, but just by chanting the name of Sri Ram, fixing her heart and mind at the feet of Sri Ram, she was able to live there and was able to be saved. So we know that always Master, Mother and Swamiji remind us, never forget your sadhana every morning and evening. Repeat God's name and you will feel blessed. Just to conclude, in the Padma Puran, Lord Shiva tells Mother Parvati, one attains the divine truth by chanting all the Vedas and the mantras. So as we said about Vishnu Sahasranam, similarly, Lord Shiva is saying the similar thing now, that we can get divine truth, means the knowledge of Brahman, the knowledge of the divine that is within us, the Atman in us. We are not the body, we are the Atman, we are the soul, but that knowledge we can get by chanting all the Vedas and the mantras. Yet, this can also be achieved just by chanting the holy name of Sri Ram. Let us take refuge in chanting the name of God as often as we can. This will be to our benefit, and may Sri Ram bless us. May the Lord increase our devotion to Him and allow us to have implicit faith in Him. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Om, page 72. Om, Om. आया द्वार तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे,
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 जब जब भीर पड़ी भक्तन पर, तुमने ही दुख तारे रामा, तूने ही दुख तारे, आया द्वार
तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे,
आया द्वार तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे,
आया द्वार तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे,
मन में छाया घोर अंधेरा, मन में
छाया घोर अंधेरा,
मन में छाया घोर अंधेरा,
मन में छाया घोर अंधेरा,
दीपक कौन उजारे रामा, दीपक कौन उजारे, आया द्वार
तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे,
आया द्वार तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे,
आया द्वार तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे,
नैया मोरी बीच भवर में, नैया
मोरी बीच भंवर में,
तू ही पार उतारे रामा, तू ही पार उतारे, आया द्वार तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे, आया द्वार तुम्हारे रामा, आया द्वार तुम्हारे।
ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय, श्री सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. We will chant now from the Ramayana. Today we will chant about the section on the birth of Sri Ram Firstly, the prayer on page 11. On the right column of the first page, page 133, the right column, halfway down, Jogalagana Graha Bharatithi.
Jogalagana Graha Bharatithi Sakala Bhaye Anukul Chara Achara Harshajutta Ram Janam Sukhamula Shri Siyavara Ramachandra Ki Jai Pavana Sutta Hanuman Ki Jai Shri Ambe Ambe Mata Ki Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Naumi Titi Madhumasa Punika Shukala Pacha Hari Jita Hari Preta Madhya Divasa Ati Sitana Dhama Pavana Kala Loka Vishama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sitana Manda Surabhi Bhavu Kalashita Surasandana Mana Chahu Vana Kusumita Giri Vana Maniyara Sravani Sakala Sarita Mritadhara Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram So Avasara Viranchi Jab Jana Chale Sakala सुर साजी विमाना गगन विमल संकुल सुर जोधा गावहि गुण गंधर्व बयोधा श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम बरषणि सुमन सुअंजुलि साजी गह गही गगन दुंदुभि बाजी स्तुति करहि नाग मुनि देवा बहुविधि लागहि निज निज सेवा श्री राम जय राम 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 सुर समूह विनती करी पहुँचे निज निज धाम जगन्निवास प्रभु प्रगटे अखिल लोक विश्राम श्री सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय छंद भये प्रगट कृपाला दीन दयाला कौशल्यानितकारी हर्षित महतारी मुनि मनहारी अद्भुत रूप विचारी लोचन अभिरामा तनु घन श्यामा निज आयुध भुज चारी भूषण वनमाला नयन विशाला शोभा सिंधु करारी कह दुई कर जोरी स्तुति तोरी केहि विधि करो अनंता माया गुण ज्ञानातीत अमाया वेद पुराण घनता करुणा सुख सागर सब गुण आगर जनि गावहि स्तुति संता सो मम हित लागी जन अनुरागी भयो प्रगट श्रीकांता ब्रह्मांड निकाया निर्मित माया रोम रोम प्रतिवेद कहे मम उर शोभासी यह उपहासी सुनत धीर मति थे सुत प्रेम लहे माता पुनि बोली सोमति डोली तजहु तातय रूपा की जैसी सुलीला अति प्रिय शीला यह सुख परम अनुपा सुनि बचन सुजाना रोदन ठाना होई बालक सुरभूपा यह चरित जे गावहि हरि पद पावहि न परहि भव कोपा विप्रधेनु सुर संतहित लीन मनुज अवतार निज इच्छा निर्मित तनु माया गुण गोपाल श्री श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय चौपाई श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 सुनि शिशुरुदन भयम प्रिय बानी संभ्रम चली आई सब रानी हर्षित जहत नाई दासी आनंद मदन सकल पुरवासी श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय राम दशरथ पुत्र जन्म सुनि काना मानहु ब्रह्मानंद समाना परम प्रेम मन पुलक शरीरा चाहत उच्चन करत मति धीरा श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय। Let us try and focus our minds in the form of the God, of the Lord within our hearts. Some people can close their eyes, others can look at the Lord. As the Master would say, Lord dwells in his picture. God is definitely present, so you can lovingly look at him, or if you want to close your eyes. But most importantly is to have the mind and the heart fixed at the loving form, the illumined form of the Lord, the radiant form. What a joy it is to know that that Lord is in our hearts. The gracious Lord, exceedingly compassionate, was revealed to bless Mother Kaushalya. The contemplation of his wondrous beauty, which captivated the hearts of sages, filled the mother with rapture. His body, dark as a cloud, was the delight of all eyes. In his forearms, he bore his characteristic emblems, the conch shell, a discus, a club, and a lotus. Decked with jewels and a garland of forest flowers, and endowed with large eyes, the slayer of the demon Kara was an ocean of beauty. Joining both her palms, the mother said, "O infinite Lord, how may I praise you? The Vedas and the Puranas declare you to be beyond illusion, attributes, and knowledge, and you are immeasurable. He whom the Vedas and holy men hymn as the ocean of mercy and bliss, and the repository of all virtues, the same Lord of Lakshmi, who loves his votaries, has revealed himself for my woe. When King Dashrath heard of the birth of a son, he was drowned, as it were, in the ecstasy of absorption into Brahma, with a mind saturated with the highest love, and with the body trembling with delight, he sought to rise while attempting to compose himself." Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Let us lovingly stand and offer the Aarti, page 240. Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Jai Jagadish Hare, Bhakt Janon ke sankat, Bhakt Janon ke sankat, Kshana mein doy kare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare, jo dhyaave
सहितं नमामि भवन् भवानी सहितं नमामि मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष मङ्गलाय तनो हरिः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ तत्सत् जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय महामाई की जय स्वामी जी महाराज की जय गंगा मात की जय महावीर स्वामी जी की जय सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव की जय श्री सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मा